I am Hillary Schneller. I am a 2012 Equal Justice Works Fellow and currently a senior staff attorney at the Center for Reproductive Rights, where I litigate reproductive rights cases.
My name is Ndome Essoka. I am a 2021 Equal Justice Works Fellow, and my project focuses on expanding access to maternal health care by addressing the legal barriers to midwifery. And we are here today to discuss maternal health and abortion rights, especially in the context and in the wake of the recent Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health. So Hillary, can you tell us what abortion access looks like in the states today?
So we know that Roe was never enough to secure equal and robust access to abortion everywhere for everyone. It particularly failed poor people and people of color. Nevertheless, it was a really important floor of protection and a floor on which to build. Dobbs took away that federal floor of protection, and the harm and chaos it has caused have really been devastating. As of early September, abortion is unavailable in 11 states, and it is significantly restricted in a number of others. This has affected not only people seeking abortion care, but also people experiencing pregnancy complications, because often the same care, the safe care that is provided in those situations is abortion care. But clinicians are forced to not provide that care because it would put their license on the line. And for decades, we have heard anti-abortion lawmakers argue that abortion restrictions protect maternal health. Can you talk about the actual relationship between abortion and maternal health policy in the states?
So there's actually an inverse relationship between restrictive abortion policies and maternal health outcomes. All we have to do is just look at Mississippi as an example of this. Mississippi has one of the highest rates of maternal mortality in the United States, and it is 4 times that for Black women and twice that for Indigenous women.
In addition to the harm on pregnant people that we've just been seeing a lot of chaos and confusion as a result of the Dobbs decision. For example, Louisiana passed 3 separate laws that aimed to ban abortion, but all of the 3 laws prohibited different things and seemed to take effect at slightly different times. So we challenged those laws as unconstitutionally vague because it was impossible to know what conduct they prohibited and how one could comply with 3 different overlapping bans. So for several weeks, we were able to block those bans. Unfortunately, the injunction lapsed, the bans took effect again, and immediately we saw the devastating impact of abortion bans.
So given all of that, where do you see gains that can be made?
So our immediate priority has been to try to mitigate the harm, to try to block abortion bans or restore access to abortion where we can. I see policy opportunities to expand access to abortion as well as other pregnancy care. States can expand Medicaid and extend access to postpartum Medicaid so that pregnant people and their families have more support than they currently do.
Speaking of extending postpartum Medicaid, we have been working with a few of our partners to actually change this in a number of states. In Georgia, we've seen an extension to 6 months and then again to 12 months, which is very important because visits to the doctor don't stop within the first 60 days of having a child.
In addition, there's federal legislation, the Women's Health Protection Act, that would secure the right to provide abortion care as well as to access abortion care across the country. On the litigation side, there are also opportunities in securing the right to reproductive autonomy under state constitutions in state courts. This is something the center has been doing for the 30 years since our founding. So it's not new, but the need to secure those protections is even more urgent. To be clear, there is no quick fix here. This work requires a sustained investment and continued connection with other social justice work. Given that long road ahead, how do you see litigation and policy being used to address the maternal health iniquities that exist and will be exacerbated by Dobbs?
So the United States has one of the highest maternal mortality rates of all developed nations, and it only continues to get higher. And the demand for midwifery continues to soar, especially especially during the recent COVID-19 crisis, where a lot of states expanded access to midwifery. And in states that have actually implemented midwifery into their healthcare system, they've seen greater rates and positive maternal health outcomes. My project in particular focuses on midwifery, not because it's the fix-all solution, but simply because it's a way to build on that, but in the states that need it the most, the states that have so many restrictions to just maternal health care in general. It's been an amazing opportunity to work with you, Hillary. And so how did Equal Justice Works help support you in moving forward through your career?
Yeah, so starting my career as an attorney, as an Equal Justice Works Fellow at the National Women's Law Center, created a space for me to break into work that I care deeply about. And fellowships remain essential to folks breaking into social justice work. So needless to say, your first year as an Equal Justice Works Fellow has been a lot. What motivates you to continue doing this work?
I can recall still now very clearly, one day after being sworn into the New York State Bar, that's when the decision came out and we realized that we were living in a world without Roe v. Wade. And so I knew that that would encourage me to continue to move forward.
Ndome, any concluding thoughts?
Yes. Thank you for having this conversation with me today, and thank you to Equal Justice Works for supporting this very, very critical work.
Yes, and if there's one thing to take away, it is the intimate connection between abortion rights and rights to maternal health care. Abortion has often been siloed, and maternal health has not gotten enough attention in this country. Moving forward, we're working to rebuild a more robust right to reproductive autonomy that encompasses both abortion rights and rights to maternal health care.